and actually deploy some stuff on testnet. I'm going to show everything on testnet today, just because I want for you to be able to follow through afterwards or during the stream. If you get stuck somewhere during the stream or you have to disconnect, you just watch the recording afterward. We're going to post it after the stream is over, so you should be able to follow along. And of course, this is just an intro. So there's more cool stuff coming up later in the week. And okay, let's get started. So we are here to figure out how to build cool stuff on NEAR. Before that, I was told I should do an intro on and talk a little bit what is NEAR. So I'm gonna keep it nice and short. So NEAR is a real nice level 1 protocol. It comes with a lot of cool stuff. So not only you can build natively, which we're gonna see today, but you can also use chain abstraction to do cross-chain and multi-chain stuff, which is all the rage nowadays. They're really cool web app ecosystem, starting from things that maybe you heard about, which is blockchain operating system, BOSS, or social component, AI stuff, as well as a bunch of really cool integrations. Some of those will be presented by my friends from Meanbase in the coming days. And of course, you can just always jump right in, check stuff out yourself, and then just ask us for help if you get stuck somewhere. Okay, so I'm not going to touch too much of the primitives today or the infrastructure, none of that, but feel free to ask questions at the end. However, what we're going to do today is pretty much get started, and I'm going to make the assumption that some of you watching here, maybe the first time you're writing a smart contract, maybe you are, maybe not, maybe you are a developer coming to Web3, maybe you're coming from another ecosystem. So we're just going to start everything from scratch. Why don't we just go ahead and go back to Google and just search for NEAR getting started smart contract. And the first result most probably will be a hello contract. Now, you can write the hello contract in two ways. Or you can use Rust, you could use JavaScript. I'm a first and foremost web developer, so I tend to do everything using TypeScript whenever possible. So I'm not going to touch too much about this, but I'll show a little bit of Rust at the very end if we catch time. So let's just do JavaScript. Now, we're going to start with very basic. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make one choice for you folks. I'm going to use Cursor AI as an IDE. You feel welcome to use anything else like VS Code or Emacs, Vim, whatever you love. I'm going to use this one because I think it just has a good flow. So I'm going to go ahead. I already installed Cursor, so I'm just going to open it. I'm going to open a new terminal here. I created an empty folder near workshop, and I'm going to just do all the work in here. I'm going to use via Node version manager, like very, very basic stuff. If you don't have Node installed yet, install Node via version manager or NVM, and then use that to install a Node.js that's compatible. Really, all of the standard ones, stable ones should work. So I'm gonna just install version 22. But version 20 should be fine if you have that one already. So let's go ahead and just follow through with this getting started. So I have the latest Node install. I'm gonna go ahead and install the Node CLI. I'm gonna do everything from here. And it should only take a few minutes. And now if we run NEAR, we should see that we actually have the tool installed. Okay, very cool. So we're going to do all the work on testnet. When working on testnet, you really don't need to specify any additional parameters in your CLI tool. It just by default will work on testnet. When you go to mainnet, you'll have to be specific about mainnet. You'll also use a different suffix for your accounts. So you'll notice that today I'll be using accounts with the extension with the domain .testnet, which are the testnet default domain. Now let's go ahead and create our first smart contract. So again, I'm gonna just copy paste over this command line, which will run the create NEAR app uh, package using npx, a standard way to run Node Node stuff, essentially standard way to run npm packages. We're gonna create a smart contract type of project, and we're gonna use a JavaScript/TypeScript contract to keep things real simple. Now we can name it anything, but I'm lazy. I'm just gonna go with the default name, and I'm gonna run npm install because I want to be able to run stuff. While we're waiting for this to work through, I'm gonna go and read what's next. So the next thing that we're gonna do is essentially, we can work with smart contract, or we can go ahead and create a wallet or do some other interactive stuff. You know what? Let's just go take a look of what we have over here. So we're just gonna follow the instructions, go to the hello NEAR project and run npm, run build and run test to make sure everything is nice. And while this stuff is running, let me go ahead and explore. We have here source folder. We have a file. It's called contract.ts. And we can see this is pretty much all the source code for our smart contract. And as you can see, it's very familiar. It's quite familiar if you are used to seeing TypeScript before, right? Very simple stuff. It works. So now we're gonna wait for a few more seconds for this to build. Once it's built, we're gonna run some tests and make sure that we can that everything builds successfully and it runs on our local machine for now. So when you run tests, you essentially spinning up a local instance, running your contract against a local instance. Nothing really gets sent to the network. But as you can see here, we're actually building the real smart contract here, right? So this file, the one that we're building here, this is the smart contract that we later deploy. Okay, while the tests are running, I'm going to talk a little bit about next steps. So immediately after creating any smart contract, what you want to do is just make sure that it makes sense. You might want to do some local testing. Once you're happy with your local testing, the next thing you want to do is you want to test it on the network. And the simplest way to test it on the network is to have a testnet account. Now, there are a couple of ways to get a testnet account, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'll show you both ways. So the first way to create a testnet account is just to go ahead and use the NEAR create command and -- use faucet. We're gonna do the use faucet argument here because we want our account to have some NEAR, which we later will be using to deploy our smart contract. Because it's a testnet account, we can use a faucet, so it won't cost anything to get some NEAR. If we were to use production, we would have to ask a friend to send us some NEAR, or to use one of the cache on-ramps to get some NEAR, and that would allow us to deploy. When creating a mainnet account, you also want to remember that there's storage cost associated with it. So you might want to have like a little bit of NEAR there, just in case. Some of the wallets offer you the option to create those mainnet accounts for free. Some of them will want you to first fund your account before you can get a name. In case you don't like the experience for one of the wallets, just check the experience for the other one. They differ in some ways. But for now, we're just gonna use this testnet stuff. So we see that our test passed, which means our local environment is good. Now let's get ready to deploy stuff. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna go ahead. Oh wait, why do we? Okay, I did not expect to have this copied like this. All right, let's do this. All right, so we're gonna replace your own account ID with just a random or pseudo-random sequence of characters. It doesn't really matter because these are free accounts. I'm just gonna copy paste it for reference later. And as you can see, we actually created an account. Now, if we're curious to see that this account actually exists somewhere, we can go ahead and search for, NEAR Blocks Explorer on testnet. And there is a really nice service offered by NEAR Blocks, which allows us to just do a quick search and see, okay, this testnet account was just created, right? It shows here that it was created very, very recently. Yeah. Now the time here is not local time, hence why it might be different from what you see on your computer, but if you look at the minute and second, it shows that it was created just a minute ago. Okay, cool. So we have an account, and because we created it in the CLI, we also have the private key for it, which is and information about what the private key is stored and how to use some of the stuff. It's written here. I'm not going to go ahead and explain everything. You can find out more if you just read documentation. What I'm going to do instead is go back to our example and go ahead and deploy the contract. It's already built because we ran this command a few minutes ago. So all we have to do is just run near deploy, the name of the account where we want to deploy the contract, and the name of the contract binary. Now, let me quickly explain what this command has. So first, we're gonna specify the contract account where we want to deploy it. So if we look here, we'll see that here, this account is just a regular user account. There's no smart contract, nothing like that in here. But after we run this command, and after we provide the payload, and the payload should be the name of the contract that we just created in this build folder here. Let's see, we have a hello near wasp, which is a binary file, not very useful, which is created from this JavaScript file, which is created from our TypeScript file, right? So it's not very useful looking at it in our IDE, but if we go ahead and deploy it, something useful will happen. First of all, once this block gets mined, we'll see that this address now is associated with smart contract. Now, because the contract uses WASP, even without seeing the source code, like we just see the compiled version of it, we already see its methods, right? So we can already do stuff like query thing. Let us first log into the smart contract before querying it. But we can already see the contract, okay? Cool. Now let's go ahead and first query it locally, and then I'm going to show how to query it on the internet. So to query it locally, what we can do is just use the near view command, and then the contract name, and then the method name. So the method name is the one that we see here in the source code. It's also displayed here in the contract methods list, right? And this one doesn't take any arguments. So, when we query it, we just get a result. Okay, let's do the same from the command line, near view, and then it was get greeting. And there you go, result hello. And now let's do something a little bit more interesting. Let's actually change the greeting, and we can see that this method takes one parameter, greeting. Yeah. And let's set it, and let's set a value of something. Wait, parsing. Okay, I think we need to escape it. Let's double check. Yeah, we need to escape it. So let's go ahead and escape this. All right. Oh, and yeah. Okay. Data not in JSON format. I need to escape the key as well. All right. What's now? Okay. Oh, sorry about that. We also need to use a near call, not near view. And there we go. Okay. Okay. So now let's see the following. Okay, now it wants us to provide an account. So which account we're going to use in order to sign our contract? Let's use the account that is the contract itself. Like the contract should have access to itself. So we're just going to use the account that we used to deploy the contract, which is also the contract account. Of course, we don't have to do that. We can use really any account that our contract allows this method to be called by. So let's see if this was successful. Let's go ahead and query this one more time, and there we go. The change was successful. So when I was sending commands, right, as you saw just now, I rushed in and I made a lot of little typos, right? And every single time I got a quite good error message which explained me what was wrong. But if that's not enough, a reason why I really like to use Cursor AI is because you can kind of highlight stuff, the error, and then you can ask for AI assistance. And usually that will point you in the right direction to troubleshoot stuff. Of course, if you read the message, you understand what's going on, you don't need to do that. All right, so we have a contract. We did some changes from the CLI. Now, what about our users? Like, how will they interact with our contract? So for that, you would create an app, and in the next few workshops, you're gonna learn more about this. But in order to do like really go high level and figure out, hey, how do you onboard your user? Like, what's the basic flow? I mean, we're gonna cover it right now. So the first thing that you would want your user to have is also to have an account on the same network as a smart contract. And once you have an account, you can connect to the app and run this method. So let's go ahead and create an account. I'll go back to this guide, and I'm gonna scroll a little bit up. Let's see here. It tells us that we can create an account with any wallet, including my NEAR wallet. Let's go ahead and click this link. And let's go ahead and create an account. As you can see here, we are on testnet, so it doesn't cost us anything. Also, there is no reason to save the credentials since it's testnet, right? We expect to use this temporarily only. But if you are deploying to mainnet, you'll go through the same steps. Like, you'll create an account if you don't have one. The same would be true for your users. If they don't have an account, they'll have to create one, and they'll need to fund it, or you'll fund it for them. Really, it's up to you. Now, again, we're gonna use a different name here. And now it's gonna ask us to remember phrase. So word number 7, beyond. There we go. Don't do this. Actually save your recovery phrase when you create an account, unless it's a testnet account that you only want to use temporarily. Okay, now we have an account here. So having an account for our personal usage allows us to go ahead and connect or sign in into Web3 apps. So this app, NEAR Blocks, that we just saw, actually has the capability to connect an account. And once we connect an account, if we try to run a function like set greeting, this time we won't get this prohibited error if we do everything right. So let's go ahead and connect it. I'm gonna click on my wallet here. I'm gonna input the password again. So what's with this password? This is a password that's used to encrypt your private key. So anytime when you use a recovery phrase, or when you are installing an account on your phone, right? In order to make your accounts available for your wallet to send transactions through, you would need to have a private key to sign those transactions. And in order to store the private key securely, it will need a way to encrypt. The wallet will need a way to encrypt it. Now, this can be done multiple ways. On an iPhone, for instance, you can use the Face ID to get a certificate, to unlock a keychain where this stuff can be used. But since I'm using a web account, the way it's stored is stored in my local storage, and because I don't want anybody to read it, if my computer gets compromised or something else like that happens, that's why we have a password here. So this password is only necessary to unlock your wallet. it's not really used to recover your wallet. Once, if you lose this computer, like this password will not help you recover your account. What will help you recover it is those 16 words. Again, I'm happy to go into the basics if you'd like more, but I think it's pretty straightforward stuff. Now, what I did here, I signed in with my wallet. Yeah. So if I sign in again, it will ask for the password again, and it will ask me to choose account again. Because I'm just signing in, I'm not running any transaction. It doesn't really ask me to do anything more than just confirm which account I want to use and confirm that I want to use this account to connect to that web app, which will be able to view my balance and call smart contract methods on my behalf, methods that don't have a cost associated with them. Now, one of the safeguards that NEAR has is that whenever you're calling a method, if there is a deposit associated with the method, you'll need to confirm it. But if you're calling a method without a deposit, right, you don't have to confirm it. So that's what it tells me here, that once I click connect, that app will be able to call methods without deposit on my behalf. It's really important. Now it can actually run call method on my behalf. So when you create a smart contract, you want to also be mindful about who you let to call these methods. You really don't want somebody. You don't want to let third parties call methods without a deposit if there is a risk for the user to lose funds or do some other kind of damage. So that's a little bit more of an advanced topic, but just remember that depending on the method, you might need to specify a deposit. For now, here it's pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna add, if I remember right, it was a greeting. Yeah, greeting argument. Greeting argument. I'm gonna say something now for web. I'm not gonna touch a deposit here because this method, as you can see here, does not say anything about deposits, right? Doesn't, if it had a payable function property, then it would require deposit, but it doesn't. So that should really be all. I'm gonna click right, tap right. Again, I'll get a confirmation here telling me that, hey, this app tries to call this contract with this function, with this argument. Looks good. I'm gonna approve it. And because it costs money, right? The fee is very small, but it costs a little bit of money. I had to approve it, right? And now let's go again, get the greeting, and as you can see, it's updated. Now, it's been exactly half an hour since we started this workshop, and we have a fully functioning smart contract, which we were able to read and write to both from within our development environment, as well as from the web using a third-party web app. All right. So this is the basic stuff. What else can we do? Well, so the next thing we could do is we could add some requirements, like to ask the people that, hey, in order to call this function, you need to come with a deposit. And then when you create the app, you want to specify that. We can create more methods here. Or we could go ahead and actually, look a little bit into the ecosystem. So let's do that now. Let's look at the ecosystem, take some questions. In case anybody has any questions, please write them down there in chat. And then, let me know if you want us to write more code or do anything else cool. We have roughly 25 minutes left of this stream. So, okay, let's take a look at the ecosystem. So you already saw a few basic things. You saw my NEAR wallet, which is, in my opinion, the easiest wallet to use for web development. It doesn't have any other requirement than having a web browser. It's not the best wallet for your customers. So when you write your apps, make sure you have a wallet selector like the one here. So here, if you click here, sign in, you see there's just a real long number of wallets. This is pretty easy to integrate. So just make sure you have a bunch of those here. But for your own development, probably you're just gonna stick to one of them. And my NEAR wallet is probably the fastest. Okay. Next thing I wanted to cover is that, after you build and you interact with the contract and you do a bunch of other stuff, right? The next thing you want to do is you probably want to add, more things, or maybe call other contracts. And that's a more advanced topic. We'll want to have a separate lesson for how to do cross-contract calls some other time. But one thing that can help you with more complex contract is a tool that I really like. So let's talk a little bit about NEAR Contract Wizard. And yeah, let's. We'll provide you the link after the stream, but you can do a Google search for NEAR Contract Wizard, and it should show the GitHub repo, the first result. Okay. Oh, so the NEAR Contract Wizard, what does it offer? Well, it's also a Node.js tool, but it allows you to, it uses AI to generate contracts using Rust. And now, why would you want to use Rust? So for a bunch of more complex things, Rust has some capabilities that the TypeScript, so JavaScript contracts do not have. And you might run into a case in which you might say, hey, I can't do what I want to do. Like, I want to have a more complex contract. I found this template, but I don't know how to use it. This can help you get started. So, yeah, let's set this up and see how this one works. So again, I'm gonna need to go and grab some source code. So I'm gonna just copy paste this over. I'm gonna open a new terminal here. I'm gonna do a git clone. Right. Go into this contract, and following the README here, it tells me to npm install, run prepare, run build dev. Okay, let's do npm install. Run prepare, and run build dev. Okay, so now the cool stuff happens. So, what happened? Right, so now the cool stuff happens. Now we have a CLI tool in this contract wizard, which feel free to hack around with, right? Maybe you can make something cool with it, but maybe you want to change a different, use another LLM. Maybe you want to integrate it with your own app, right? Whatever it is. Like, there's so many cool AI stuff you can do. But what this tool does is that it allows you to generate a basic Rust contract. Here's the source code for this tool. And let's go ahead and run it. So we'll ask it to create a fungible token contract, which has my fungible token, title, name, symbol MFT, decimals 24, premium 10. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so there's a lot of code. So this file, as you can see, this file is new code. It's in green, right? So these two files do not exist. These were created just now. And as you can see, this tool generated, or rather scaffolded for us, a fungible token contract using a standard template. And it populated it with our data, right? And you can use it to generate other kind of contracts. So this is just the simplest example, but really there's more other things. Now to build a smart contract in Rust, you'll actually need Rust. I already have Rust installed, but if you didn't, I would recommend you to just use one of the package managers that comes with Rust app. Don't install Rust directly, use Rust app. And on Mac, I really like using Homebrew. That's what I use to install all of the other stuff like NVM or Cursor. But depending on which system you have, you might have a different package manager. And again, if you have everything set up, and a basic setup should really allow you to run code, right, without any errors. Okay, Rust for type is up to date. Okay, it's already built. Okay. Now let's test it. Testing gonna take a little longer, but because it will need to build a smart contract. And since this is the first time I'm building a Rust smart contract on this machine, it will download a bunch of stuff. Just like before, there's a bunch of stuff that it will need to fetch, and then it will build, and then it should be good to go. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to cover, right? You want to have a more advanced contract, use Rust. You get stuck, you don't know how to get started. This project is really cool. Feel free to experiment with asking for other type of contracts and see what you get. And also, use Cursor AI stuff, and select some code that's maybe unclear, and ask it to explain it. Like say, hey, what does this do? And right, it's actually pretty accurate. Yeah. And of course, you have also the official docs. One of the cool things, you can also reference things with Cursor. Again, the reason why I recommend it is if you're learning something and you don't remember how things work, what you can do is you can download a bunch of stuff, like another tip, like a power user tip. If you want to use multiple things in your solution, like maybe you want to use the contract wizard because it has a cool AI that you want to integrate, and then you have Hello NEAR, and maybe later on you see a really cool workshop from our friends at Beta AI, right? And say, hey, I want to use that as well. So just download all of those things in your project folder, and then you can reference the stuff that you want to include, and you can say, hey, create me an integration using the contract wizard stuff, right? But make this work with my TypeScript contract and blah blah blah, and contract from Hello NEAR. Hello NEAR.ts, stuff like that, right? Wait, I think it's not called Hello NEAR. I think it's called contract. Yes, contract. Yes, and you see, like, it will guide you. It will tell you, hey, this is what you need to do, and that's why you need to do it. And this is all just using the free version, right? I on purpose did not enable the paid version for this, because I want you to have the exact same experience, right? I want to show you what you will get. So my recommendation is, as long as you're using the toolkit I showed you, like Node version manager, get the latest version, use npx runner to run the latest table, you should get the exact same experience. Like, you should be able to literally reproduce maybe 90% of what you show here, what you saw here, and just go ahead and build your stuff. And that's about it. Like, in terms of Rust, I think if you actually have more advanced questions, we should really have more of a one-on-one kind of mentorship session, because this is a more advanced topic, and I don't want to really confuse anybody here. But just remember, that's probably something you're gonna have to run into when you polish your solution. So remember this tip. Okay. All right. Let's look at another cool thing. So somebody mentioned Beta AI. Okay, what's with this Beta AI? What's with this Beta AI? All right, so Beta AI is another cool thing, right? The cool thing is that it allows you to build on-chain agents. Now, by default, this stuff, right? If you're using their landing page, right, it's gonna be with production. So let's see if they have testnet. Actually, don't remember if they have testnet for the same UI. Probably worthwhile to ask them later. Testnet. Okay, this looks like it's testnet. Okay, cool. This looks like testnet, right? So we know that they have the wallet on testnet, right? Testnet, wallet, Meanbase, XYZ. Okay, cool. So looks like you should be able, to create your wallet here as well. Yeah, bam. And then you should be able to call your Okay. It really wants me to save this cane. Cane. All right. How can we do that? Let's use a password. I don't want to expose to show you my password, so I'm not gonna use a keychain. I'm just gonna use a simple password. Anyways, now we're creating another account now with Beta. And why am I doing this? Is because we saw how to do that on that on the manual wallet, but we can do the same here. And again, if we have this account here, we go to our app that we were using to test stuff out. Go ahead and find assume Beta wallet would be. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, nope. I want to connect the existing account I just created. Oop, let's try again. Okay. For some reason it broke. All right. We'll need to probably delete some data. Okay. Let's see if it works better. No, I think something happened. I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna troubleshoot it later and see what's going on here. But yeah, for some reason the sign on does not work for me anymore. Let's try this as well. Yeah. Yep. I'm not sure what happened. Okay. Well, it was a live demo, so something had to break, right? Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna demo how to use a Beta wallet, unfortunately, right now. But you ask the folks in the next workshop; they're gonna show you. Anyways, why I wanted to mention it is like, hey, once you have this working, right, you can also use you can use this to deploy your app. For instance, you could connect this. If you have a Beta wallet and you have a smart contract and you think, how can I use this to deploy, right? You can actually go back to this hello world thing and, find how you connect an account. And there it says, you can use NEAR login. So what you can do is you can go back to your terminal here. Let's close this. And we can do a NEAR login. And now it's connected with my NEAR wallet, right? But if we specify a different wallet, it will open that wallet. And then you can use that wallet, right, to connect to your CLI. Again, you may need to do a little bit of back and forth troubleshooting, particularly when trying to integrate two things that were built by different vendors. But probably in like 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes of troubleshooting, you'll figure out how to do that. Okay. All right. So let's see if we have a few other questions. Also recommend joining Telegram community. Yeah, definitely join our Telegram community. A lot of builders there. A lot of them are local. So great way to make some friends in the ecosystem. Now, there's going to be a workshop tomorrow from BTA. So very good. Ask them how to build an AI agent to talk to your smart contract, because I think that's what they want to show you. What else? Okay. Okay. There are a few other interesting wallets. So I'm going to mention just a few, right? Telegram has an interesting wallet. Here wallet is pretty cool. It's a native app, and it has quite a few gaming and community features. So you might want to reach out to those communities and check out what they have in store, because maybe they have some cool stuff you want to integrate. Next, if anyone has any questions. Okay, so no questions so far. Cool. Then let's move on and let's see. I'm going to talk about one last thing. So as you saw, BitAI has AI stuff, but BitAI is not the only thing that has AI stuff. So there is a portal on devnear.org, and there's a couple of resources. So one of them is the AI Nexus, which has a bunch of AI specific stuff built on both. You might want to check it out for some examples. Okay. Another cool thing that you might want to check out. Let's see if we can find it. Okay, no, this one, I get this one. It's probably to take a look at the boss ecosystem. So if you are, there are really two ways to build a front end on NEAR, right? You can either build it with an app, which we could probably actually do that now because we still have 10 minutes, right? And there's the second one. A second one is using the boss components. What should you use? I would say if you're familiar with Next.js or React, probably use front-end app. So, right, we have this package npx create NEAR app. So if you're not sure, use this and create a front-end. Actually, let's go one level up. And oh, sorry, wrong thing. There we go. And create a web app. And just use Next.js. If you're familiar with Next.js, use Next.js, post it on Vercel, right? That's really all you need to do a cool demo. If you want to go the extra step, and build something in a full Web3 fashion, then take a look at BOS, which are also known as NEAR components. The cool thing about them is that they actually run on the blockchain. So the code looks a little bit like React because it's also written using JSX style, but it's not 100% replacement, right? There is a subtitle. There are a few features which look similar, and there's a lot of things that are different. So I would say get a smart contract first if you want to build a smart contract, and make sure it works with something like this, like the NEAR blocks. After that, if you're already familiar with Next.js, use Next.js, and again, use AI to build your front end. That's the fastest way. If you're adventurous and you have extra time, take a look at Boss. They might be worthwhile your time if you want to build something that's more fully Web3 and would not require a deployment on a Web2 server like Vercel, right? But let's go ahead and just use Next.js stuff here. See how hard is it to build an app. So let's call it. Actually, let's not call it Hello NEAR. Let's call it something else. Okay, and again, we're gonna install the dependencies. Should take a few minutes, and after that, we'll just follow through with the instructions in the README. Okay, now we have 8 more minutes for this live stream. So if you have any questions at all, now would be a good time to ask them. If not, I'm gonna keep chatting about cool stuff I like, and then I'm gonna call it a day. Also, I invite you folks to come in person. We have, I think we have an in-person workshop in a few days. Check out the announcement, and I'll be more than happy to meet you in person. And depending on how many people show up, we might even do some one-on-one troubleshooting or talk about cool stuff like AI and things that come with it. Right? I think NEAR is a pretty good blockchain if you want to build things like agents, or have in mind something like a retrieval augmented generation type of app. Like there are really so many cool things you can build nowadays. Really just and probably if you get stuck, you can also ask for help. And if you don't get help from me, you can probably ask an AI now. Okay, another tip, like which AI should you use? I find that all, GPT-4o is pretty good. Also, Claude is reasonably good for most of the coding stuff. And you can get them, essentially, you can get to ask a question to them essentially for free. So you can get GPT-4o with a Copilot in with Microsoft's Copilot. So it's a little bit of indirection, right? You might need to install that app or go to that website, but you're gonna get access to it. And for now, it also works here in Cursor. I don't know for how long it's gonna be the case, but for now it works. So I'm real happy with that. Also, if your project needs AI to run locally, Llama 3.1 is really good. And again, I would encourage you if you're doing a smart contract integration for AI, you probably won't need to do too much stuff like Rust. You'll probably be okay with just this, right? You'll probably just want to have some basic state and some basic logic in smart contract and really, offload the rest of the stuff to your app. And for that, it should be good. If you need to do an integration, then you're gonna have to do Rust. Okay, so it's still gosh, it's still installing. So one thing I don't really love about Next.js is like how slow it is when you first install it and how slow the builds are. I have a real fast Wi-Fi here, so it is slow. Okay, let's see. Do we have it working? Okay. Oh, well, wait for the start. As you can see here, anytime when I got a message from a CLI that Cursor thought looked like an error, right? It has this cool thing: add to chat, add to composer, debug with AI. I encourage you to play with this. First, anytime when you get stuck with an error message, play with this if it helps. It should. All right, let's see. So we have localhost port 3000 standard port for Next.js stuff. Let's take a look at what this thing has in here. I actually have no idea what the front end thing has. I was not planning to show the front end, but since everything else just worked, let's take a look. All right. So we have a bunch of components. Okay, I'm not super happy that it's in JavaScript. I encourage you to use TypeScript, honestly. Right. If you have the choice, if you want to build something fast and you're more comfortable with JavaScript, please do use that. But if you don't really care, I will highly encourage you to use TypeScript whenever possible. It makes things easier, including making AI a little bit more useful when you have TypeScript. All right, so what do we have here? Okay, so we have a contract from config. All right. Okay. So we have, okay, so let me talk a little bit about this. Okay, so here we have the configuration for our app. We have a testnet and we have a mainnet and a testnet, right? We have the Explorer, I guess, to see the contract, and we have the RPC, which is where the calls will be sent to. And very important, we also have the contract name, and I assume we also have the definition of a contract somewhere. Let's see, did it load? Come on. It's still compiling. All right, so we'll wait until it compiles, and then we're gonna first take a look at this testnet example, and then take a look at our contract, right? Again, let's go to our Test Explorer and see what kind of contract they have deployed. Yeah, let's see. Okay, get greeting, set greeting. Great, it's the same contract that we have deployed, so we could just replace it with our own. Very cool. Okay, do you folks remember the name of our contract? I don't really, but I have it somewhere here. It was somewhere here. All right. Okay. Yeah, it's probably this one. Okay, so let's copy this over to the testnet contract. and we're gonna teach this app to talk to our contract. Now, let's give it a minute. It loaded, good. All right, it loaded. And now it's fast, good. Let's click login, let's go to my NEAR wallet. Let's log into the app. We changed the contract name, so now I should talk to our contract and let's see if this works. So you remember how to check if the value is saved. Okay, so we logged in. What are we supposed to do now? Hello NEAR. I think there's a page called Hello NEAR. Right? There should be a page, Hello NEAR. Let's see. And if you're not sure if it's working, it's always a good idea to check our terminal. Make sure there's no errors in here. All right, it says that it built this page in 15 seconds. Okay. All right, okay, cool. So the contract says now from the web. Hell yeah. And now let's go ahead and modify our contract. Again, confirm it in the wallet, unlock, approve, and let's go here into our fancy contract. And because I don't trust my app, I'm gonna check here. Query. Okay, it works. It works here, it works here. It even still works in the terminal, right? It should still work in our terminal. Let's see. View. Get greeting. Yes, it still works even in our terminal. So there you have it. You have a smart contract, you have a web app, you learned how to use the block explorer. You learn some advanced tips on how to do a bunch of really cool shit in the ecosystem. And I also present a couple of plugs to other projects built on NEAR. I think it was a real cool hour. I had a lot of fun. I hope next time to see more activity in the chat so that we, get to have more of a dialogue. And I really, really can't wait to see what you're gonna build next time we meet. But until then, have a great evening, and thanks so much for tuning in. If you want to keep in touch, find me on Twitter or Telegram. Yeah, my name is Alex Astrum. Yeah, let me know. Let's connect. Bye-bye. Have fun. Build cool stuff.
And all the cool people you get to meet at an event like this, other hackers and students and even other companies like NEAR. We're here to just learn and network and have a good time while building cool stuff.
Hackathon is like a marathon with code. So you get a group of 3 or 4, make something really cool, just create an idea. If you have the means to, prototype it out, make something techie. Otherwise, just get the idea, make something cool. Even if you don't know how to code, just come do something fun.
This is also my first hackathon, so I'm really excited to be with this many people and trying to build something to win.
We wanted to make sure that there's something here for everybody. So obviously on your technical side, we have countless workshops held by our sponsors which talk about various topics such as blockchain. But at the same time, in order to cater everybody, we include some funny and silly events like Minecraft build competitions, and we have lots of food competitions this time around.
We want to bring a lot of value to the community here as well, to teach them more about how to be developing in the space. Can't wait to see what the students are going to be creating during those 2 hacks.
My own journey started with a hackathon in East Toronto, and I would love to see more people who start their journey.
It's something different, like as much as, you gotta build a project, you gotta do a case competition, you gotta communicate, you gotta stay up, you gotta work. There's also a fun side to it, you can take a break, mentally relax, and just enjoy what's going on and spend time with your friends.
Just being able to network and learn with other people and bounce ideas off, and that group environment is awesome. I'm super excited about Hawk Hacks just because of the networking opportunities and all the cool people you get to meet at an event like this. Other hackers.